It's an emotional journey for a lot of people gathered here today. The deceased was well known and liked in the community. And as is often the case in Ghana, a lot of well-wishers come out to pay their last respect to the departed and grieve with the family. We are not an individualist culture. We are the sum of every achievement and shortcomings of the whole clan, tribe, and country. Practically, this means that it is the responsibility of the family or clan to ensure that each member properly performs all the four main rites of passage, which binds individuals to their clan and entrenches them in culture in our country. So serious are these requirements that a family may suffer great shame when they do not successfully mark these rites. Death is a serious state of affairs in Ghana. Funerals are as much for the dead as they are for the family. They give the bereaved an important sense of closure. It's the only way for a family to move on. But for that to happen, there is one thing you absolutely must have: the body of the deceased. My name is Isaac Mensah, and I cannot bury my father. In 2005, my family received the horrifying news that my father had been killed in the Gambia whilst migrating to Europe. He was one of the Ghana 44 as it come to be referred to. My father was survived by a wife and 3 children. His passing left me in shock. It's natural to bury a father, but definitely not at a younger age, not in his prime, and not under the circumstances under which he died. In 2017, I joined the campaign to fill the gaps about the Ghana 44 killings and finally get justice. But ye pursue you who said, Saint Anami Papa, what's your name of Frassano? Saint and no tear. Oh, Papa, on family form. And you crack. Papa, dear. On family, dear, girl. Send a missing wound, send us ye farming or no. Yamin Kwan and him. Yamin Kwan and him in town. On family form, Cora. We call her no dimity. We call her no dimity. And I'm so sorry, I made the no to school. School so we school no more. Make the same in college. To your college, no buy a consumer, you might be buy a Kuyapa. Rebecca, the cracker now. Then all the Toku. You tell me, Shadan, I'm a boy now, the go. It is only one of work and was it. Dashing me the bachelor.
Yes, I was media Siama, young Susie, yes.
And the world was I say, man, what to cocono? Cocono over hata cocono, ebili.
Sometimes no na cocoa too.
Into on peckle bullet, on pepper boat. O do cocoa toy, a toy, cocoa baba cry obey ye through. The S one carry no one or carry. Tiaman wamina penas and can see and be crying and caede, one but a bank cocoa. He said, I'm so dino crying, you know, into one of the brenner. Agriculture for one the brenner.
It is interesting piecing all of this together. I remember when I was 12 years old, as I set off one early morning in March to school. My mom told me that my dad was going to Kumasi to collect money from Kuyapa Cocoa Limited to pay his cocoa farmers. When I came back from school later that day, I was expecting to find my dad at home. Weeks passed and he had not returned. Every time I asked for him, my mother would tell me, he will be coming. I finally heard somewhere that my father had traveled abroad. When he got to Senegal, he would call my mother. One day she told us that he will be coming back in August instead of continuing on with his journey to Europe. We were expecting him that month, but we heard the breaking news of what had happened in Gambia.
Never offer on Kuta Bibia, na kwamba na faso abana ekunwo nyina. Then the atiana say, the metiate nipa nwotwe. Ase nipa nwotwe. Pa na wanum kumwo. Nti na mzo ta wanum be man so ate na wanum ste say, e bia na me bawo, me nkone nkwohwe. Ana metum na sa abrere mo sosa.
Na me bamba. Am say e bia na oba wom.
E bia na me ba so wom. Manfo na come ma meti
okay.
Nti sa funu aba na bia na me bawo.
Okay.
Ti se si Gambia na Gambia government dey funu no ba dey e se me ma mo kwahwe. Me ba na nkan ho. Mo so ye dey na mo so so dey na ye dey na wo papa dey wo hunu aso be ho funu. Tum po ba na me se wan kan ho bi.
Sa no omo twen wo moja bi ana omo je wo ho ade bi na de ko hwe se oba ne kan wana yemu bi omo je ade bi free ye ho de koi because ata na ye yesusa.
David obi amba ha me twi me moja nko tese hwe se me ba na wo ma na me ba ne obi amfam obi amba ha me tese me moja
na namba cho omo ka se omo ku omo no a wonten ho hwe bi mu omo de krata edi adanse se me papa awu no omo de brewa na ana omo de amobi sa krata no potoka sam ye friend death certificate wenya krata bi sa efra ban ho ana efra yare sabia bi ho se
menya bi sa
menya bi sa
menya sa krata sa.
Okay. Efrim retentene no 2009 ebisi satam we wonte efim fra ban ne ho.
Pintishi.
De me kan say aban ankasa no eye ECOWAS fo ene UN fo eye nhwehwemu bi. Ohun. Omo ye nhwehwemu no omo de krata no ebre Ghana aban. Ohun. Enti Ghana aban e de sa krata ni bi bremo ana.
David me hun.
Onfa bi mremo.
Me hun krata bi. Me nti ho hwi.
Ayare hosemo.
Oh, ya nkan ho asem. Sete me hun mfo na me yura ho. Yura ho. Sipa ni pese. Na me hun kra bi.
Oh.
Kiss me hu sana me yura me hwana na se na wasi ya me na bi ahun ho na wo de hu ase nana papa oh papa tie nyina ahwere me
My name is Ko. Nami Aduma Yawada.
I am setting off to Accra today to visit a number of activists who have been instrumental in seeking for justice for families of victims of the Ghana 44. Though I was quite young, I remember that in order to close the case, some of the family members were given money. To find out more, I am meeting with Mina Mensah. Her organization, the Commonwealth Human Rights Initiative, took up the case back in 2005, really advocating for us.
So how did you feel when the government secured some monies for the Ghanaian victims?
Honestly, I was upset.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, it's not only about money, it's about justice for the victims. If proper work had been done, then I guess the families would have gotten more than what they got, and they would have also gotten justice.
So could you brief us about how you disbursed, how the money was disbursed? Do you have any idea about it?
No, this was purely done by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Okay.
I had no clue. I just heard that they had given the family 10,000 cedis. They had used some to buy coffins. They had used some to dig graves, which I thought should have been government's responsibility. And then they had used, in fact, what even upset me was the fact that they even said that they had used some of the money as a donation. How could government use monies that had been released for the families, use the same money as donation, and then also use some as certain allowance for those who were at the meeting?
With donations, who did they donate the money to?
I have no idea. I wasn't there.
Okay.
This is where.
Yeah. In loving memory of 44 Ghanaians who lost their lives under tragic circumstances in the Gambia in 2005. Like you said, 44 Ghanaians, and you just returned only 8 bodies, or 6.
And that is what the Gambian government returned to us. I think 8 bodies were brought initially, or so. It's been a long while, and one of them was found not to be a Ghanaian.
On what basis did they identify that these people here are Ghanaians?
Well, there was a pathologist. So I guess scientifically, from their identification, these are Ghanaians. It was a very unfortunate situation, but I guess this is how far we've come with it. We can get information one way or the other. It might not be the kind of information that would probably put everything to rest, but it will be information that would help you as you go along.
Okay, Mommy, thank you. Okay.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Like my head is aching. Like I can't stand it.
I imagine my father's long-awaited funeral. It would take place in the city center of Akomadan, where events are frequent occurrence. I imagine my hand gliding over the wooden casket that will give my father a proper final physical abode. It has been over 10 years, so I am aware that we will be burying his bones. It does not matter. He deserves to be buried with dignity. I can see us wrapped in our red and black cloth. Red to symbolize our pain, black for the sudden death. I can hear the women wailing, My mother and grandparents screaming at the coffin. So our echoes will accompany my father's soul on his journey to the afterlife. He wouldn't know he was loved and will be missed. I am meeting with Professor Kwame Kakari, the former Executive Director of Media Foundation for West Africa. He was also around with Maina campaigning for justice. He has been campaigning all these years for the Right to Information Act to be passed in Ghana.
Prof, so now that the Right to Information Act has been passed, can people like me try to get access to those files concerning the tragedy of my father's case?
I believe so, because the Ghana government and the Gambian government were in negotiations concerning that whole issue. Because the right to information is a constitutionally guaranteed right, as citizens and as children of the victims, you have every right to get information concerning that whole issue.
So, Prof, on the corona thing, how best can we try and then see him so that he can help us with the 8 bodies returned, like their names and
their identities?
Yes.
The coroner performed his or her work for a government institution, so it should be a part of it to request to get the coroner's report so that we know the true identities. We want information about that experience so that we will pursue justice for the victims, because Yahya Jammeh cannot go scot-free.
Scot-free, no.
This is really a case of crimes against humanity.
Yes.
Because these are people who committed no crime at all. They were West African citizens, so you couldn't even say that they were in the Gambia illegally. If anybody is in a country illegally, you return them to where they came from. You don't murder them. Now, there is a truth and reconciliation process going on in the Gambia, which is gathering evidence. The security agents, they are giving information and evidence that yes, Yahya Jammeh ordered them to kill those people. So there is evidence in the Gambia that Yahya Jammeh was responsible. He cannot deny this.
Okay, Prof, so can we try Yahya Jammeh in Ghana? Can we try him here in Ghana?
Yeah, Ghana can try Yahya Jammeh here. Why not?
Okay.
It's a matter of politics. If the Ghana government politically has the will, wants Yahya Jammeh to be tried here, he can be tried here. The only question is whether the dictator in Equatorial Guinea will allow him to be brought out of his hiding place in Equatorial Guinea.
It has been difficult to mourn my father without his remains and without us getting justice. The most difficult part of our experience is that we do not feel supported by the Ghana government. I don't think we are being treated fairly. Is it because my father and the others were migrants? It has been an emotional journey. I am meeting with Enoch, whose father was also among the group. He is also part of our efforts to get justice. It has not been easy for him either.
My dad was a very good person. He was a very strong Christian. He was even in the choir.
Oh, okay.
He was even part of the mass choir. They used to sing and all that. My dad was into business, into shoe business. So he wanted to extend his business, going to Spain, you understand? And the strategy happened. And he was somebody who loved my mom so much. Like, he loved her so much. And this thing is so sad.
You know something? I heard somewhere that some of the junglers are confessing, and I have this on my phone. Can we have a view of it?
So when I took this man up to the ditch, before we reached the ditch, he was having a note, 100 euro note. He gave it to me. He told me that it's not necessary for me to die with this. You are living, you may use it. You have been nice to me since we take off from Banjo. When we arrived, he asked me to give him Sanamanyan told me, finish him. He asked me for me to allow him to say his prayers. I said, go ahead. He kneeled down to say his prayers. Then Sanamanja has already released the shot and fired him.
People that did the job, people that did the execution have come out to come and say that we did this. So what is the government waiting for? Our current president now, Nana Akufo-Addo, you were the foreign minister.
You were the foreign minister.
If even that time you don't have power, now you are the overall boss. Now you have power.
He is the president.
If you say do this, it will be done.
Yes.
So what are we waiting for? Families are struggling.
Yes.
44 Ghanaians, people's uncles that were hopes, people's fathers are killed.
That's true.
They were people that they were going out there to bring greener pastures to their family. They are killed, and Nana Akufo-Addo, you are the one always saying that about migration, people traveling to other places. You are concerned about that. You understand? And we expect the Ghana government to take this matter up, give us justice. If I heard Yahya Jammeh is in Equatorial Guinea,
he's there.
Bring this man, whatever diplomatic, what they call a movement or
political,
whatever thing they have to follow, they should follow for us.
You know something? Maybe they have something to hide.
Maybe
they are protecting the interests of Yahya Jammeh.
Maybe diplomatic call or something. But I don't think this thing is about diplomatic.
Why do you have to protect an outsider, a foreigner, at the expense of your own indigents? That is not fair.
It is time to tell my family about all that I learned in Accra. It was hard listening to those men talk about the murders. It pained me. I believe it was my father who was killed after handing over the 100 euro notes. My mother told me she had sewn some money in his trousers.
Yesre pa. So obi kwa ne kwan. Na wache no na wamfa na nyina mra nim ankyere ne se. Etuo na wo beto anasa hefa na wo kɔ na wantra no na ofiti ya wakunkum ne sa de. Nyame ni nipa ni mu ni. No kwasɛm nie. Yenya bi babia.
Kama me ba no me nya wi. Ibra me nya wi na me wo kɔ na de. Me ba na ka obesie me. Me ba no na ka obesie me wi wo to won sie me. Na so won sie me de na wo tumi kɔ kuno bra. Wo hu baba ba ne ho. Wo hu kunde bia wa ne ho. Na o so no ma wo se wo ya akɔkɔ me kuno an akɔkɔ na onu me so kuno wo de won fa funu no mbra na me sie ma ade.
I find solace in the church. It has been central to my life, both in joy and sorrow. I feel at home. The church has provided comfort for all these questions that haunted me. Did my father suffer? What was he wearing? What were his last thoughts? I read somewhere that the surest way to remember the dead is not the type of coffins used to bury them, nor the type of cloth or t-shirt worn during their funeral, but doing something positive for the dead which will benefit the living. I really want to honor my father's life and help others who seek to make that journey know that they do have human rights. It does not matter whether that journey is legal or not. I have come a long way and still have far to go. From mumbling to people, it is a long story. And go in shame and silence to being here today confronting the past so that we may all look ahead. I know my father will be so proud that despite his remains still not being given the proper send-off, his son is pushing the Ghanaian government to do the right thing.